What's up, party people? J-Rock in the building. Welcome to another episode of the Everyday DJ Podcast. I'm your host, J-Rock. Tonight, I got my homeboy Austin in the building, representing that good Guitar Center. And we're going to talk about some gear. We're going to talk about technology. Man, we can talk about everything fun and gear related. So without further ado, let me bring on my special guest. What's up, Austin?
What is going on?
How you feeling tonight, brother?
I'm tired. Y'all stay out too damn late.
Hey, this is the early show.
Early show. I get it. You got those West Coast clients too.
Look, my wife is gonna laugh. You know, it's only 10:01 and 10:01 a.m. in China right now.
It just up.
Yeah. So, tell the good folks a little about yourself. You know how you got started and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Well, without going too far back into time, my name's Austin, guys. I've been working with GC a little bit over 10 years now. It's slinging gear left and right. Started out, you know, as a kid, as we all do. I'm not a DJ. We'll just go ahead and put that up front. I am a gear aficionado. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been with GC almost 10 years now. Been building large scale PAs, audio, video, and lighting systems for the most part of that. But recently, in the last few years, been, you know, very much engulfed in the DJ community. You know, everything from wedding DJs to club DJs to artist relations is a big part of my job as well. So yeah, I mean, just here selling gear and, you know, here to help you guys out in, you know, whatever capacity that may be.
Awesome. Now with this pandemic, what's some of the trends you've been seeing as it relates to selling gear? You know, people buying. What's some of the things people going for now? What was that?
I said people aren't buying. No. No, it's weird. You know, it's funny because we're on a podcast right now. And so, you know, at the beginning of this thing, you know, we went from being out in the club or being out at a wedding to being in our bedroom. So everybody wanted to become a podcaster. So these things we're both talking on right now, these SM7Bs, probably my hottest seller of 2020. Everyone is podcasting. Everyone is out there on Twitch, on YouTube, on whatever platform, just name it. You know, I've seen a big uptick in podcasting, and podcasting gear. You know, that being said, people have a lot of time to kind of mess around right now because we're all stuck inside. So, you know, people are buying new controllers. You know, people are getting back to a craft, which is something really, really cool to, you know, to witness, something I've seen personally where, you know, the ominous term of button jockey, you know, when it comes to certain, you know, DJs, you know, that's going away. People are actually starting to really learn how to DJ now and really learn how to not only DJ, but be a musician. And that's really cool. Because it's like, well, I've got all this time. I'm stuck in my bedroom. Why not learn how to do it?
Why not practice?
Exactly. I've seen so many people like go back to vinyl, you know, and go back to, you know, pulling crates out, you know, and, you know, actually spinning. It's been a really cool thing to watch.
It's funny that you say pulling vinyl out. My wife and kids and I, we went to our storage unit and grabbed like 7 huge crates of vinyl, and we sat on the front porch and we cleaned them up. And Look, it's called having free time during a pandemic.
All the time in the world, right?
Yeah, so for those of you tuned in, I'm going to shout out my YouTube family real quick. We got my homie Frank Cook in the building. We got my homie Willie D. We got my Facebook fam Daryl in the building. We got Plum Nuts 392. Hey, one day you got to tell me the history behind that name. So if y'all, the phone lines are open. And so feel free to call in, hit your questions up in the different chat boxes all over the place. And if they fit the conversation tonight, we'll get them in. If not, we'll send you a link to where you can get your questions answered. That's the least we can do in this bad boy. Now I see keyboards behind you. You're a musician, so what's the deal?
I'm a novice keys player. I did start as actually, believe it or not, as a classical clarinet player. I have a degree in that instrument. I have not picked up in many, many years. Middle school band nerd turned into. I was actually went to college to be a high school band director, and ended up changing into acoustic engineering and started the studio thing and realized really quick that being in the studio doesn't necessarily pay the light bill. So I went into brokerage, which is what landed me at Guitar Center, designing systems and, of all different scales, small scale, audio systems to large scale lighting rigs. But yeah, no, I'm in my free time, I do like to tinker. And I do have my toys obviously to do that. So, but yeah, big synth nerd, big Mo guy.
That's what's up. Yeah, it's funny. I don't play any instruments, but I owned a recording studio for like 13 years. And I've had like every keyboard in that thing, the Motifs, the Phantom, the Mofets, everything all synced and MIDI'd up with the MPC.
Well, actually, this guy down here, that's a Mod X. That's basically what replaced the Motif.
You're gonna make me do some homework. My wife is tuned in, so baby, if I come home with a new keyboard,
it is all Austin's fault.
He did not get it from me. He probably did, but that's
okay. Now, with as it relates to gear, what's some of the main stuff that you've been recommending to people coming up doing this, getting started in this pandemic, like the pandemic?
Well, I mean, what as far as like specific pieces themselves?
Yeah, like what speakers?
Well, I mean, so anytime somebody comes up to me and they, the classic question, and I don't really get it anymore because I've been in professional sales for the last 7-8 years. But the classic, kid walking a Guitar Center, I want to be a DJ. I want to be a DJ. What do I need? What do I need? I mean, you can always get down with, an intro controller, DDJ SB3, something like that, to get yourself going. I don't really do a whole lot of that anymore. I would say a lot of my clientele really, they know what they want.
They got them like budgets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they know what they want, but at the same time, like I preach to a lot of my clients, it's buy it right or buy it twice. And, if somebody, and a lot of reason why people shop with me is, they'll come to me and they'll ask my opinion. And I'll be the first one to tell them, like, hey, man, my clients love these. They've been rating, like, let's just say the DJ MS-11, the pioneer mixer that everyone and their mother wants right now. Everyone, I mean, and we're selling the snot out of them. Everyone wants that mixer. And because everyone wants that mixer, I can go to you and go, hey, my clients love this. They are absolutely infatuated with it. This is why A, B, and C. This is why you should get it. This is why you should not get it. But if these people are saying it, I think you should get it. Or those clients are also going to say, Austin, I am really really hating my life that I wasted my money on this right now. And I'm going to relay that back to my other clients. But for that particular piece, they're not. I mean, that's probably been since it's come out for the last month. We've moved quite a few of those units. S11s are probably one of our hottest moving SKUs, right? Yeah. And why don't you tell them where that came from?
My buddy Austin, right here on the line. And speaking of gear, if you go to eventstreamteam.com/gear deals or -gear-deals, Beloved is going to put it in the chat box. Go ahead. We can get you a good deal on some DJ gear, some sound, lighting, instruments, you name it. We can hook you up, right, Austin?
Absolutely, we'll definitely hook you up. There is a business tier available through this chat or through that link that he is talking about that I will extend to every person listening in tonight. So whatever inquiries that you have, please input that into that, and I will be promptly in touch with you. If I am not, we did have some issues with the link actually coming through to my email. But I believe that you had posted my direct contact on the site as well with the phone number.
Yeah, everything is working now.
Yep. So if for whatever reason you do not hear from me via email, call me and I will be the first one to pick up and hook you up.
Y'all heard it here first.
But going back to what you're saying, I mean, as far as like, I've seen, S11s, that's a recent release. So, that's been pretty popular up front. Probably the one big one that I've seen really, really reach out is vinyl emulation in a couple of forms. Phase being one of them, and Rain 12s. That seems to be the two bigger parts of what I've seen move this year to a lot of people sitting in their bedroom, relearning their craft. Really learning how to scratch and mix because, Sure's basically done away with all their needles. People aren't actually scratching actual vinyl anymore. So they're going to emulation because it is expensive. Even when, back in the days of M44.7s, I mean, a good DJ would tear up a pair of those on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's $100 bill down the drain. You just got paid $200 for the gig and half of it just went to needles. So, I mean, that's...
That is a true story.
It is. It's a true story. So, I mean, you can still go out and get you a pair of Concord Pro S's if you want. If you're somebody like me who likes to listen to vinyl, you've got, a really nice, needle out there that you can listen to. But a lot of people aren't using that anymore. So, that would be probably one of the two larger SKUs I've seen move in the last 6 to 8 months is Phase and the Rain 12s.
The Rain 12s, I didn't know you when I got my first pair or my second pair, but I know you now, God dog it. And so it's funny, when I got my first pair, they came out April 1st of 18. I got them on April 2nd, and it was just so much negativity. They're not 1200s, and all these diehard turntablists are, just so against them. And now I see these same people with the shiny Rain 12s.
So it never fails. I mean, people are going to hate. I mean, like and especially people that have been doing certain things, especially like a lot of my older DJs. Like I get in this conversation a lot of times with, when I used to work in the store and a guy would come in and he would start ranting and raving about all his old passive PV cabinets he used to have. Like, he said, oh yeah, my PV Black Widows, this, that, and the other, they sounded so good. They'd kick in. It's like, okay, cool, man. Well, if you really want to drag all of that shit to a gig, knock yourself out. You drag your 3,000 pound amp rack. You want to drag all of your cabling, all that. That's cool. I'm going to show up with a couple Evolve 50s. And if I need a couple subs, I'm going to bring a couple ETX 18s with me or a couple KS 118 QSCs. And I'm going to kill your rig. And it's going to weigh an eighth of what you brought with you. So, I mean, if you want to bring and I'm not saying your stuff sounds bad because it probably sounds really good, but it's not efficient.
Especially when it comes to power. Now, I'm one of those guys who had the PV rig. I had 4 sets of FH2s. I had the FH1s, that's P1s, with those heavy
CS800 amplifiers.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, in 1986, you needed that, but you don't need that anymore.
Nope.
And you can apply that same concept now to, you know, vinyl. It's like, you know, you used to have, you know, back in the late 80s and the 90s, you had guys that would come in with crates and crates and crates and crates of vinyl. Guess what? They can fit it all right here, right now.
Yep.
You don't need all that. It's all on a hard drive. So why are you going to not, you know, kill yourself? Same thing. Don't get me wrong. I love listening to vinyl. I have a really nice turntable set up in my other room in there where I love listening to vinyl. I love analog sound. I'm an analog freak, but I'm not going to sit there and drag all that to a gig.
It's like,
why would you?
What I don't miss about DJing on turntables with vinyls is having to put stuff under the turntables because the bass would just vibrate and cause the hum, and those 808s come in and you need to jump out the record. It was bittersweet.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Now, as far as the pandemic era goes, a lot of companies I've seen are DJ companies are going out of business. A good friend of mine shut down. He's selling all of his gear. Me, myself personally, my company kind of made that transition to more of a production company about 3 years ago. And then we went virtual back in late 2017. And so what they call the new normal, we've been doing. And so that's kind of been our saving grace, just having that 2.5 year jump start on virtual events. Now, what type of advice do you have for the DJs and the musicians out there as far as making investments in their gear during the pandemic? You know, my wife and I personally, we've been investing. You know, I just got stuff from you.
I mean, buy while the market's low. I mean, even if you're not buying gear from me, which I hope that you do. I mean, everyone is wanting to make a deal right now. Everyone and their mother is wanting to make a deal right now because everyone is hurting. So, I mean, dare I say, whenever this mess lets up, and it could be a month, it could be a year, but everyone needs to be prepared to hold on to their ass when it does, because we're all going to have more work than we know what to do with. I mean, and do you want to come out of the gate swinging because you built your rig up? Or do you want to be the guy standing on the sideline with the same stuff from 2019? Because that's, I mean, but it's true. It's
You're
absolutely
right.
true. People are, I mean, I can tell you with 100% confidence, there are going to be people that are going to come out with rigs, DJs, artists, you know, of all kinds are going to be coming out with rigs, touring rigs, and they are going to be putting pedal to the metal because they are missing all the money that they made in 2020 or did not make in 2020. And they're going to be looking to make that up in 2021.
So they're going to be coming out prepared. They're going to bring out all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first and foremost, invest in yourself. I mean, you know, make the investment that makes sense for yourself. Invest in your health first and foremost. But, you know, invest in the gear because it is going to make you money later on. You know, that's the best piece of advice that I can give. But, you know, like I said, first and foremost, invest in yourself, invest in your health, because that's, you know, what we really, really should be doing right now.
I posted on Facebook today. I was like, I'm not too worried about making money no, my number one goal for now is to survive the pandemic. Because if I live through it, I'm gonna have plenty of opportunities to create income. And so, and I've been using between producing virtual events and doing some of the more safer stuff that we can do with our sound equipment. And we've been finding alternate ways to use our lights, to use our cameras, to use our trussing. And it's like, I didn't think that, you know, the trussing and the stuff like that would come in handy as much as it has been during this pandemic. And also, you know, just really doing this whole internet thing. We did a Zoom party on Sunday for a conference. The conference had altogether about 300-400 people. The after party, we produced the live stream for the conference, which was dope.
Right.
Then they hired us the DJ for the after party on Zoom. A Zoom after party with over 200 people in the Zoom just giving energy. And it's a different type of DJing.
No, it is. It's a completely different type of DJ. I was talking with a buddy of mine up in New York, and you know they're on super lockdown. Have been on super lockdown for the start of this thing. And I was like, "Have you gotten any gigs? Have you done anything?" He's like, "Dude, I just did this massive Zoom party the other day," and I'm like, "What the hell is a Zoom party?" And he was explaining it to me, and I'm like, "That's a thing?" He was like, "Yeah," and I made a shitload of money off of it. And I'm like, "Well, keep doing you, because not a lot of other people are getting that right now." And I was like, "But all right."
And it's funny because we're producing this conference that's going on for 3 weeks, and they have a big day on Saturday. During the day, they got the youth telling stories that they've written. Then later in the evening is the adults telling stories, and then we're DJing for that after party. And so I'm just like, wow, it's like it just got so crazy with this whole virtual thing. I'm not sure if you could see it, but I had to team up with my wife, and we designed a DJ studio. And I think I could show the viewers. And so we built a virtual DJ studio in our house, so that
I can't. If you're trying to show me something, I can't see it right now. But
yeah, I seen your picture, but it's on the live though.
Okay,
and so, and that's something to consider as well. You got friends and family, that's all over the country, and then you can do it. It's it's just, you just got to think outside the box. You got to think outside the box.
You've got to get creative. I mean, I've seen some crafty things done this year. That's for sure. I mean, just even, I do a lot of house of worship business, and even the churches are like, well, we got to get tithes and revenue coming in somehow. So they've switched to streaming. Church clients that swore they would never be that in depth with technology are now that in depth with technology.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's, the lay of the land for 2020.
And so I say to everybody tuned in, definitely take care of your health, your strength, take care of your families, and don't be afraid to think outside the box. Invest wisely, And it's like, for me, I know my next big purchase is going to be a set of speakers. I really want a pair of RCFs, Evox. I'm actually torn between the Evox 12s and the DB Technology ES1203s, but we'll see.
I think if you're not going to go with the EVs, I think you should go with the DB Tech personally.
I listened to the EVs. We had a shootout about, I think, 2 weeks ago. I had the EVs, I had the Evox 12s and some turbo sound. And the EVs sound good. They sound good. But it's this one event that we're gearing up for that I have in mind for the RCFs. But yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I do love those RCFs. They sound great. I mean, they really are a great speaker. I'm way more partial to the EVs because I've sold so many of them, and my clients, they absolutely love them. I've had so much good luck with them, but
they got that proven track record.
They do. They've got a great track record, and I mean they're rugged and they work. So that's and they sound great.
All right, we're at the question and answer session portion of the podcast. Phone lines are open, chat boxes are open. Feel free to call in and let's talk. Say hello, say hi. Tell us about in the comments right now. Tell me what piece of gear you would love to have. Is it speakers? Is it the Ring 72? Is it the 12s? Is it the new version of Phase that's coming out? Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
What I would love to have?
So what gear would you love to have, Austin?
I would love to have all of the above. It's hard working for the Guitar Center, man. It's people always, when I worked in the store, they're like, man, you know how much money I've spent here? I'm like, man, I work here. I have had my bank call me on payday. They're like, so you got paid X amount and you realize you spent X amount back in the, yes, I sank my entire paycheck back into my company multiple times. So while this is a DJ podcast, I am actually not a DJ. I know that we spoke a little bit before the call about that. So I travel in DJ circles a lot and I sell DJ rigs and DJ gear, but I myself am not a DJ. I'm fascinated by it. I am actually a keyboard player and a synth nerd. So if I was actually going to pin my next piece of gear, it would be a new keyboard. Even though my wife would likely shoot me if I did. But yeah, that's typically when I go to waste money on gear, it usually goes not waste, invest. That's what we have to tell our ladies, fellas. We're investing into gear, which we all know it's not an investment. It's I'm just playing. Stop lying.
Now, see, my wife is she's tuned in and she's watching the comment box.
Oh, no. Okay.
So this is the portion of the show where I'd be like, well, I'm really not trying to buy anything, but baby, if we could go get these, we could call Austin and order these speakers tomorrow. Now, my homie Willie D from YouTube says, with his primary job struggling and gigs being slower, what's the best way to get good deals from Guitar Center or anywhere? The best way to get a good deal is to use the link that I have. Go to the website and give my homie Austin a call. He'll take care of you.
Yep. Email me. I got you, bud.
We will make that happen for you, Willie D. Mac House Production says he would love to have a set of SC 6000 M's. That's going to be his next piece of gear. Now, I'm going to be honest, right? I'm going to be honest. I love the SC 6000 M's, but I've been looking at those Pioneer CDJ 3000s, and I know on the spec sheet, the
other tickle me Elmo of this year has been the 3000s, and don't get me wrong, those Denons, I mean, they're great pieces. They are really, really cool pieces. And in fact, I'm one of the co-sponsors of the Denon booth at the International DJ Expo in Atlantic City, and I've gotten to sell and plenty of Denon Rain Newmark gear for many, many years, and love those guys. It's great, but those Pioneer CDJ 3000s.
They just look so slick.
They are so sexy. And everyone else thinks that. But I mean, but if you want to gift me a pair of MC 6000s, I would more than gladly take a pair off your hands. If that's
and see, my mad scientist reason for switching from the Ring 72 to the S11 is that the Denons are dual layer, and so I'll be able to use the second layer on channels 3 and 4 on the screen.
What do you think about the converter quality between the 72 to the S11? so far, like as far as the DACs, because I've gotten not mixed reviews, but like a lot of people are saying they're dumping their 72s because of the DAC conversion on the S11.
I'm gonna be honest. I had the Range 72 for 2 years. I purchased the Range 72 MK2 the day it dropped. And I've been A-B in the 72 MK2 and the S11. I actually like the sound of the Range better.
Okay.
I like the build quality of the Range better. Feature wise, the S11 beats the pants off the 72.
Really?
Once you plug the S11 into a good system and EQ it to your taste, it sounds great. You know, it's a good sounding mixer. But
you're actually the first person I've heard that said that they like the 72's actual like raw audio quality over the S11.
As far as raw audio quality, the 72 is warmer. It's just a warmer sound to me. But also, I'm listening to it on some birchwood cabinets with the 15-inch woofers. That's 1,000 watts, and so it's what you would be using the DJ with is what I use to monitor in my DJ studio. And so, I guess
I've got a full bass boss rig in the other room. That's I know I have a bass boss rig in my house.
That is insane.
Yeah. But it should have it in my office. But yeah, no, I'd constantly piss off my neighbors with that. But
that is it. I thought I was bad. He got a baseball boss rig. Now I heard Bass Boss at the DJ Expo up in Atlantic City like 2 years straight. When I tell you their systems hit hard.
I'm a dealer, by the way. So if anybody listening ever wants a true demo of Bass Boss, let me know. I'm one of the owner of Bass Boss is one of my best friends, Leanne Amber. Love that company. Love their set. I mean, they make quite honestly the best loudspeakers on the planet. And that's not a trash talk RCF or QSC or EV or any of those guys. Like, I mean, they are for consumer audio. Those are great companies. I love them. I sell tons of it. But if you were looking for like a truly, and you'll attest to this, out of body experience, like when it comes to boutique speakers, and you're looking to be that next level DJ as far as sound systems goes, Bass Boss all day long. I'll throw that against a Meyer or a Rinkus or a D&B rig all day.
Wow.
All day long.
Jeez.
Did you see the Kraken, the Quad 21 they came out with?
No, Quad 21.
They have a Quad 21 now. I believe it's don't quote me on this. I believe it's either 15 or 16,000 watts RMS.
A Quad 21. Hey, beloved, we got to get some roadies.
Yeah, I believe it weighs like 480 something pounds.
We just got a question into YouTube. My House Production says, do you think the S11 will outlast the 72? I'm looking to buy one time and have it for at least the next 5 to 7 years.
The S11's not going anywhere for a long time. I can tell you that. The 72, I could see a replacement for the 72 coming out way before I could see the S11 coming out.
And the reason why I say go with the S11, it's just so feature loaded. The smooth echo for one, being able to have the 4 channels, the touch effects, being able to do your own custom effects on that. If I was buying today, I would go with the S11.
I would too.
I would definitely go with the S11. Yeah, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Unless you're just a rain guy. But
and there are those. There are plenty of people that are brand loyal, and they will just never go over to it. I mean, same thing with, there are pioneer people that will always be pioneer people. There are rain people that will always be rain people. But if you're one of those people that are on the fence, like you said, and you're looking to, what's going to outlast the other one, I don't see the S11 getting replaced anywhere in the years. I don't. It's going to be a staple and a DJ standard for a while.
Because one thing for sure, they could do firmware upgrades on the 72, but the question is, will the hardware be able to accommodate such features that the S11 have? I'm not sure. Because if you look at the 72 versus the 72 MK2, it's just one knob and new faders.
Yep.
So it wasn't a huge of a jump like the Rain 12 MK2s. Yep.
That was a big jump.
On Facebook, Kenyon asked a question. Is Guitar Center planning on opening or converting certain local stores into Guitar Center outlet stores like the one they have in Atlanta? That might be more of a GC corporate question. And I'll see what I can find out for you on that.
Yeah, no, there's no plans for that as of now.
All right. There it goes. All right. So, Austin, homie, I want to thank you for taking time out your busy schedule and kicking it with me today on the Everyday DJ podcast. For everybody that's tuned in, that's going to catch this podcast on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, the link is going to be in the description. Feel free to use the link. It's going to take you to Austin's contact information, and he's going to look out for you. When I tell you, I called Austin, and the next day I had an S11. It was just like that. And also, if you tuned in, we're giving away a DJ mixer to our 10,000th subscriber. It could be a S11. It could be a Rain 72. It could be a Reloop or whatever mixer is hot when we hit 10,000. So subscribe now. Turn on the notifications. Power Jams DJs on YouTube. And you might be the lucky winner of something fresh, something shiny, something new. So, Austin, how can the good people reach you, buddy?
You can reach me by getting right to your website there, going and clicking on the link and emailing me directly, or you can call. Is my direct contact number posted on there as well?
Yep, the contact number is there as well.
Yep. So you can call, you can text, you can email. Email is preferred. If it's an emergency, anything like that, the cell phone number's up there for a reason, guys. Anything that you need whatsoever, please let me know. I'm here to help.
All right, that's what's up. We got my homie DJ Sir Force just hit up the Facebook comments. He says there's really no difference with the MK2 and the OG Rain 72. Clearly, they would make that scratch bank work. Will be software update. Yeah, the scratch bank. Oh my goodness, the scratch bank on the S11. I'm not a scratch DJ, but what I'm going to use that joker for is at like weddings and special events to be able to queue up, like at the concerts, be able to have the next performer song queued up. And that's going to be so awesome. Just a tool, just having that and not having to have a crate to go back and forth, but just being able to hit a pad and have all the next songs lined up in order right there. So think outside the box with these tools, man. Definitely think outside the box. All right. Stay with me, Austin. I'm going to close out the show.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Everyday DJ podcast. I'm your host, J Rock. Live every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Talking about stuff that's important to the everyday DJ, like me, like you. And so if you would like to be a special guest or have your product or company featured on the Everyday DJ podcast, feel free to hit me up and we'll make it happen. It's all about the culture. It's all about love. It's all about positive vibes, y'all. And once again, I want to thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for really just holding the brother down over the years. And so,
make your next move your best move. J-Rock, I'm out.
What?